Hello, everyone. This is your loving host and best selling author, radio, and TV personality, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from a studio in Rockville, Maryland. And today, folks, I will be talking about yesterday there was an event of things to do, DC, at Saudi Arabian Embassy, and I went there, but I was very sad after what I saw there yesterday. I have been to that program two times earlier, and the first time I went, I participated in fashion show and I took my photographs. I took my photographs from that. And but the next time I went, and I participated in fashion show and everything was so nice. There was Prince Abdullah, the community minister there, and I talked to him about writing a book, and he acknowledged me. And the embassy was smelling so good with oud. So I asked him that where that oud has come from, and he said to me that go to Tyson's Corner, there is a shop there and you buy it. And so I came to know through him about that shop. And I participated in fashion show. I came with the photographs and it was a wonderful evening. And I talked to Prince Abdullah, the community minister of Saudi Arabian Embassy, that I want to do some books on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties. I want to read about it because, as you all know, that I am an author. So he said he will set up a library in Saudi Arabian Embassy, and then he will contact me. And that night, I was beaten and caged so badly that I cannot tell you what happened. And then there was no clue that where Prince Abdullah went and what happened. Then all of a sudden, the second time, I went to Saudi Arabian Embassy, and there was this girl, who was speaking there, and there was no Arabic person or anybody. And but the fashion show went through, and there was some lady who demonstrated about Yemen in Saudi Arabian Embassy, and the photographs were I participated in fashion show, and the photographs were taken there, but I never received any one photograph from there. And then the third time, my husband became very sick. And so I wanted to go to that show, but I gave money and I did not receive my money back. And then I usually go to embassy shows, and this is my favorite show. I go for fashion show, and talk. So I was little bit late yesterday, and then because I have recently lost my husband and I am a widow, so I yesterday I went there. So there was checking in the front of the embassy, and I liked it a lot. Then I went inside, and they would not allow me the camera to go inside the embassy. So I asked, like, why camera is not allowed, because I am a journalist. So they said, like, you have to take permission from before. So if that was the case, then the company which arranged that should have told us that you have to take permission and you cannot bring camera or anything. They should have informed us. So I want to bring this to the notice of King Salman, as well as Prince Mbs, as also as well as President Trump. And I want to be, since I am direct descendant of Prophet Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha, and I am actually related to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, through Prophet Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha. And I am very passionate about this subject, that there were lot of deaths in my family. So once when I went for Umrah, I somebody gave me the letter for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I had put that. I was a kid there, and that time we were allowed to put put the letter there, and I got my answer in that same night, that what has happened. And then, I want to write a letter to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and want to know that what happened to my parents, that they suddenly died, what happened uh, to my husband, and what wrong have I done, and since we are direct descendants of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon Prophet Abu Bakr, peace be upon him, and through that we are relative of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So I have a question, for the US government, that how do you protect these kind of people living here, of course, if Prince Salman comes here, or King Salman comes here, of course they will have that security. But I am just a widow and a normal girl. So how would you protect me? Do you want me to go back to Saudi Arabia? Because I get so much intimidation. I live in Montgomery County, and there are some domestic terrorists, who have been bullying me since 2015 and 2011 till now, and and I get droned every day, and it is so bad, and I write to Attorney General, I write to President Trump, and of course I wrote to President Biden. But why these people are allowed to roam in county and trouble us, so now I'll go back to the embassy thing. And before I do that, let me remind you, these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. I want a movie to be made of this book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, and also I want a web series or a movie to be made out of The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. And this was an Amazon bestseller in India and in USA, and this was an Amazon bestseller in USA. And I want and this was hot number one new release on Amazon, and this was my tribute to India. And I was talking about Jugaad, which I have conceptualized as thinking outside the box. And this one is the bioterrorism thing. So having said that, folks, please go and buy these two books, because I am an widow and an orphan, and these two books bring food to the table. So let me tell you about what happened. So there was this girl, and she taught me that camera cannot go. So I said, I will write this to King Salman, and also I will write to Prince MBS, that what is the policy there. If that guy doesn't give us photographs, and then with that mood I entered. There was no scent, nothing, as it was the first time, it's deteriorating. And it is so sad, because of my connection to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties, Prophet Abu Bakr Raziallah anha and Prophet Umar Raziallah anha. First of all, they did not, set up the library which Prince Abdullah said. So once when I went inside the library, I saw someone very similar to Prince Abdullah, and I thought he has come back, because the second time I went, so it was all, those Hindu girls working there, there. And I was very surprised to see that. And one of the French Saudi, I said I had given him my book to give it to ambassador, and he said, and I met him yesterday also, and he said that he will give it to ambassador. I do not know whether ambassador received my book or not. And I wrote a note that please help me, because I am a Muslim woman and I want this to be taught in universities in Saudi Arabia. And thinking outside the box, and many American companies, they have their campuses there. So I wanted this book to be part of it, because as and also I want to ask King Salman and MBS that what do you do with people who are direct descendants of Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha. And I will send a letter. I will ask President Trump and Justice Department and AG Bondi and his team, I will and her team, I will send the letter to Justice Department, and I would request them to send this sealed envelope to Saudi Arabia and put it in Rasulullah's Roza, because it is such a sad story that all my family is killed. And what happened to my family, I want to know, and I want to get that answer. And there is somebody in between, that what my father was, uh, also, of course, if I am direct descendant of Prophet Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha, my father was also direct descendant, and because he met the mayor of Makkah and Medina, and when I went for Umrah, and they had invited him for some talks, and we were not invited. He went alone, and I have a feeling that those kind of people, they are in between Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his besties and King Salman. So I would request King Salman and MBS to please put my letter, in that, and I would request AG Bondi and her team, and especially Ad O'Callaghan, who is working on this, that please give this letter to Saudi Arabia, and President Trump, please help me in that. I want a seat, because it is my I want to interpret laws of Saudi Arabia as well as uh, United States, and I gave my LSAT, and my LSAT was also such bad things happened with it. I got fabricated letter, and whatever happened. So I would request President Trump that you have come for the second time. You have hired me in December 2015. So please help me, in this endeavor, because that I want to be member of the royal court of Saudi Arabia, because of my lineage. And I want to talk to King Salman and also Prince MBS, that where are those people who because I have some visions that there is a community of these kind of people in mountains like place. So I want to meet some of my relatives, whom I can only meet through President Trump's help and Justice Department's help, and their team help, especially Ad O'Callaghan, because I would not have been alive if Ad O'Callaghan would not help me. So thanks a lot, Ad O'Callaghan, for helping me that I am alive. He tried to save my husband, but he couldn't save. So my question is, what wrong have I done that I am getting punished from Rasulullah and his two besties on this topic? I want to know myself, and that is all I want to know. And what happened to my family? Were they killed, or it is just, a way of my thinking? I just want to know that. So please help me in that, and it will give me lot of peace. And also, I was told that my whole this thing, whatever I have done research from 2015 till now, I will be awarded JD degree, and or I will be put up with a supervising attorney, and he will so I will take Ad O'Callaghan or Ad OC Callaghan or Ad CO Callaghan as my supervising attorney, and then I want to pass the bar exam. So this is the whole idea, I hear so much of noise and pollution in my ears that you will become this, your husband will be killed, and I don't know from where this noise pollution is coming in Montgomery County. What authorities are doing, I don't know what they are doing. So I just want to know this answer. And yes, once I have put that letter, if answer doesn't come, that that means, it's okay. If it comes, I will be enlightened and I will have so much of peace that, this family dynasty of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, coming to me, we are direct descendants, and I just want to meet some of my relatives in Saudi Arabia. And if possible, I would like to go to Saudi Arabia and come back to United States, and my family moved to Pahetia, a royalty in when they brought Islam to India. So I want to work on those lines, and of course these people will inshallah help me. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties, please answer me, because I don't know what to say. My husband passed away and I don't know what to say. Having said that, folks, now I have a way. And yes, if you give me sponsorship, this program is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So if you give me sponsorship, I will be, uh, very much, obligated to you, because this sponsorship brings food to the table, and it gives lot of energy, of bringing food to the table. Now when I went inside, that guy who organized it was taking photographs, and he was asking everyone, and it was very good gesture that he was asking everyone that I will give the photograph to anyone. So that was fine. I didn't feel like. So now this community minister, which looked exactly like Prince Abdullah. So first I thought that he's Prince Abdullah, the community minister I met, but he was not Prince Abdullah. It looked that he was a clone of him, and he was there. But when he was speaking, he looked exactly like Prince Abdullah. And I said I want to volunteer for fashion show. So he said I did not pick you up. So what kind of discriminatory attitude that was? If you are picking people from before in fashion show, you should inform us, because I also paid ticket. I didn't say a word to him, and but he didn't look like Prince Abdullah. I want some Saudi people, to come and be a community minister here. And then it was so sad, because Saudi Arabia is in my blood, and it's in my roots because of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The gowns they were wearing, I had participated in fashion show 2 times, and both the gowns, all of them were torn from down, and it was so painful to see that those gowns were torn from down. And also that I asked the guy who was speaking, because I went late, I don't know his name, that how who can I contact to be part of the Shura Council, the royal court, because I want to be part of the royal court. So he said you can talk to me afterwards. And also he said that you should contact, King Salman and MBS. So I'm contacting King Salman and MBS through this. And also, I want to be part of Shura Council. And also, I want to have, when I die, I want to have a place in Jannatul Baqi. And my husband had also, when he died, I could have done that. But because of his, he was so much. In pain and all, and like I was so jacked up that I did not pursue that option, and I did not want to keep, the dead body for a long time, and waiting for my approval of Jannatul Baqi, because he was from Ban Hashim tribe and he could have got that, and I, because of that, could have got that. But my wish is that I want to be buried in Jannatul Baqi, and whoever will take, I will tell that to US government, because I don't have any children, that is my thing, and I will put it in my will that I want, and I would request King Salman and MBS to please give me place in Jannatul Baqi. That is my wish. And I want to be part of Shura Council and interpret the laws. Now, since I am widow, there are people who are intimidating me in Montgomery County. So now I went, and this is here, and this is here. Okay. So I want, uh, I'm a widow. Okay. So now just see, you, let me see. Okay. So this is 2 uh 2:34, and I couldn't log in into my account, and it happens, these monsters who are sitting, these domestic terrorists who are sitting, they come and hack my computer thing. Sometimes I don't have email, they bully me. So, today also when I go, they want to be co-host in my show. Why should I give co-hosting to people who are not educated? Why should I give it to them? I never thought, I came to America for my American dream. I never thought that, these kind of people will exist in Montgomery County, which is a century city, and the taxes are so high. And why these people, who is harboring these criminals? So now let me see. So now, since I might look stupid here that I'm looking at this, why I did not look before. But yes, I have studied Quran on my phone, but I could not log in because of these stupid domestic terrorists from where they have come, and they know that I live alone, so they just want some, they say such bad words to me. I get death threats, and authorities know everything. it says, now since I have that here, but I cannot access that because of some technical issues which always happens, in this Montgomery County. And so I said, right to freedom and equality. It says Islam provides equal rights to widows without any discrimination. They have the liberty to socialize and actively participate in political and economic activities. There is no restriction on any form of participating in religious or social ceremonies. As stated above, widows can remarry or remain celibate. They inherit the property of their deceased husband. They are also free to sell that property or use it in the best possible way they wish. Islam's give dignity and equal rights to widows without any disparity. So see how it is that Islam gives equal rights, to widows, and I would like to know what is America's view on widows, and what is Saudi Arabia's view is here, but what is America's view on widows? Like girls like us, we cannot do it that for 4 months and 10 days sitting at home doing nothing, and not talking to anybody. So what we do, we before dawn sets, I come back home, and there was quite a uproar among some of the acquaintances I had, that why I am doing makeup, why I am going out. Well, if I am going out to a business meeting, I have to go out, So what is the stance of America? That President Trump and Attorney General Bondi can answer that question, that how she will interpret this, because we widows should have a definite thing, a definite law, that what they should do. And since Quran Sharif says, and because this is I cannot, I cannot I cannot uh, uh, see where the widows thing is. I went to the index at back, and let's see what it is. 1799. Okay, so now, okay, it says here, economic justice. Economic justice, it says, when we move outside the family unit to examine the Quranic teachings on social relations among the Ummah at large, we see that chief among its ethical concerns is the principle of economic justice. The Quran does not mandate economic equality or the forced division of wealth equally among all. The existence of rich and poor within society is presented as a matter of divine providence, and the respect for individual property and mercantile activity is found throughout the Quran, but it does ordain economic justice. The Quran is concerned that all members of society be provided for and granted justice regardless of their socio-economic status, that there be a distribution of wealth throughout society via various religious taxes and forms forms of charity. So now here it says the provision for the poor and weaker members of society is one of the central themes of the earliest verses of the Quran. The verses that Muhammad, peace be upon him, received in Makkah. In these verses, caring for orphans, widows, and the needy is established as a religious obligation for which all Muslims are responsible before God. The neglect of this obligation is considered a prideful sin that will have harsh consequences on the day of judgment. Numerous Quranic verses establish the zakah or alms as a mandatory form of charity incumbent on each believer as one of the pillars of religious practice. In fact, it is second only to prayer as one of the most important ritual acts Muslims must perform. So widows have equal rights, and people who are troubling me, they should be charged in domestic terrorism because I am an American citizen, and they have no right to come and bother me. And according to American law also, I am not a lawyer. Some lawyer would give interpretation of that if they are disturbing the peace of the neighborhoods, then they are domestic terrorists, and they should be charged in domestic terrorism. According to Islam, if the Sharia law is there, we have equal rights. Islam gives equal right. So Saudi Arabia should give these kind of people, if they are Muslims or whoever they are, death penalty. That is what it is. They have no right to come to a widow and say that I will give you comfort, I will fuck you, or they put so much of pressure on my head day before yesterday, because yesterday I had to go to Saudi Arabian function, and it is a pattern. Whenever I go to Saudi Arabian embassy, it's a pattern. When I come back, I am caged and beaten. And yesterday they threw so many of illegal drones, and those were killer drones. So what did I do that I get this kind of treatment from people? Who are these domestic terrorists? I would want to know from the government, US government, that why they are harboring these kind of people in Montgomery County. We have slogged our whole life. I have slogged my whole life for this. My husband slogged whole life. And why they are having apartments here? Who is harboring them? If they don't have a job, they are sitting in the board of directors of this place, and they put duras on my head, and they throw illegal drones. So they should be charged in domestic terrorism, and they are putting duras that they want me to sell this house. Why they are putting? So according to Sharia law, also death penalty. According to American law, domestic terrorism. Then only the peace of America will be back. I am not an Indian citizen or any other. I am an American citizen. Why these people have been brought here? What is the real agenda? I want to know through US government. Having said that, folks, now now it says rules of idda for women. See how nice this lady wrote. My husband died a short while ago, and I am now in the idda period, adhering to what is required during this time. A few days ago, I spoke to the mother of one of my friends, and she said that for them in Turkey, the matter is somewhat different with regard to the woman in idda, and the only thing she must refrain from is getting married and nothing else. As for other matters such as putting on perfume, adorning herself, or going out for necessary purposes, they do not see anything wrong with that. She attributed this to the Hanafi madhab that the people in that country follow. Is what she said correct? So in Turkey, they follow this. Nobody can sit at home and do nothing. Nobody is paying my mortgage, nobody is paying my bill. So from this forum I say, you have no right to criticize me in iddat, whether I do lot of makeup, whether I do lot of makeup or anything. It's none of your business. And there are peeping johns. I feel my privacy has been intruded, and I feel that there are peeping johns who through illegal droning are looking at me in my privacy, whether I take bath or whether I go out or anything. So who has given them permission to see me that way, and who is after that? I want to know from this forum. Having said that, let me see what else the rule says. A widow is a woman who is destined to lose her husband who supports and provides for her. She suffers really hard, and this suffering is not only financial but it is also emotional and psychological. She loses her lover, the father of her children, and becomes responsible for her family on her own, where she should play the role of both parents at a time. I don't have children, I am all alone, so I have to take my responsibility to carry out my bills. So, people who are seeing here, please sponsor this show, because this show is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. And please buy my book. And my book is sold wherever things are there. And I am least interested in marrying anybody by duress. That you have. And some people are saying that they want to come and live here by duras, and those are those terrorists. These kind of things happen. I am originally from India. These kind of things happen in India, not in America. God bless America, long live America. And I want those answers, that why these people are harbored here, and why they are doing all this. They are doing murders, they are raping women, they are doing all sorts of criminal activities, and they are harbored in this Montgomery County, which has one of the highest taxes in United States of America. Muslim wife inheritance share. Husband and wife have equal rights, as no one can deprive them of taking their portion. The widow's share in husband's property in Islamic succession is fixed and prescribed. The widow's division under Muslim law is either one fourth or one eighth of estates. The widow receives one fourth of the property of the deceased husband's asset if there are no children or no grandchildren. How low Soviet, that is, in the absence of linear descendants. Otherwise, she receives one eighth of the husband's asset as stipulated in the Holy Quran 4:12. And since I don't have any children or anything, and any grandchildren or anything, so I inherit the whole property. And we are not rich or anything. I am just saying, because money was lost from my bank, and still I haven't recovered that money. So during my husband's sickness, I have been troubled so much, and it was Biden administration, and President Biden knows about it. And I was so disgusted, so disgusted, that I voted for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I wrote on my ballot paper that what my problem is. And you can go and see that when I came back from voting, I gave a show like this. It says, now see, the Quran says that when a man dies, his wife is to stay apart from men for 4 months and 10 nights. After that, she is free from this restriction and may engage in any lawful activity. A man should leave behind enough provision for his wife to house and maintain herself for 1 year. But if his widow chooses to leave his house, there is no blame on her dead husband for that. The Quran forbade any man from marrying one of Muhammad's widows. I don't understand what they say here. So there is a paper, it says the position of childless widows as heirs to husband's inheritance, comparative analysis of compilation of Islamic law and civil inheritance law. It says, and it is a paper of 2023, and it came in the journal. Here it is. And it says this study aims to analyze the share of inheritance for childless widows according to Islamic law and civil law, and to analyze the position of childless widows as heirs to their husband's inheritance according to Islamic law and civil law. The research method used in this study is that the type of research used in this research is normative legal research as a process to find legal rules, legal principles, and legal doctrines to answer the legal issues at hand. The result of this study indicate that the position of widows without children as heirs to the husband's inheritance asserts according to Islamic law and civil law. According to the civil code, I think this is from India, the position of a widow as an expert is included in the group of intestato heirs, and ab intestato heirs, the widow belongs to group 1 heirs based on the position of the widow as ab intestato heirs of group 1. The widow inherits based on her own position. The widow's position appears as they're based on primacy, thus closing their groups. Widows can inherit the entire inheritance by excluding parents, siblings, and so on if there are no descendants who have the right to inherit. Meanwhile, the position of the widow as an expert according to Islamic inheritance law is due to the marital relationship between the heir and the widow. Meanwhile, in terms of her rights to inheritance, the widow is included in the heirs of the Wazli Firodi. The position of the widow as their heir of the Wazil Firodi is the heir of property that she is not hindered hijab by other heirs. So this is too difficult to interpret this. It was a paper, and it is by Faculty of Law, University in Khairun, Ternate, Indonesia. So this is from paper from Indonesia. So having said that, folk, these are some of my issues here. And yes, I spoke there. I asked that question in Saudi Arabian Embassy, and also next time if they have a function, I will ask them from before if I can participate in the fashion show. And also, oh yes, they did not show me any Medina movie, because first two times I went, there was a Medina and Makkah and Medina movie shown there. They didn't show anything. The gowns were torn, and this guy who looked similar to Prince Abdullah, who was the community minister, was not the community minister as far as I know. God knows, or Prince MBS knows, or uh, King Salman knows. I don't know anything about that, so I cannot comment on that. And then instead of showing the Arabic culture, they put a big hat, and even the abayas. There was a transparent abaya which in Saudi Arabia. They were displaying the culture of Saudi Arabia, and those kind of abayas are not worn in Saudi Arabia. That is not the culture of Saudi Arabia. And the other thing is, they did not show the movie, that Makkah Medina movie. Then they took out swords, from Jaipur, India. They were six swords. They were not the swords of Muslims, of Prophet Umar. The sword represents Prophet Umar Raziallah Anha. And there was no sword of that. And then they showed a small, because when I first went and Prince Abdullah gave that speech, he showed us that these kind of things were worn by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But there was a small, they did not tell anything about that. And it was a very hopeless show. And I am very, very sad that, this kind of depiction of Islam was there, because Saudi Arabia, from there Islam comes. So I would request Prince MBS and King Salman to look into the matter. If they have those kind of programs, the out should smell in Saudi Arabian Embassy. The first time I went there, it was such a pleasant thing. The second time I went, there were Hindu girls, and and this time I went, that guy went on and on and on to speak. I don't know who was he, and he went on speaking about weekend. And so I asked him, "Are you from Saudi Arabia?" And he said, "Yes, I'm from Saudi Arabia." So I don't know whether he was actually from Saudi Arabia. There should be Saudi people, going to tell the culture of Saudi Arabia, because it is very, very sad. And I am very sad seeing those torn abayas and the sword of from Jaipur, because that was not from India, not from Saudi Arabia. So these people are creating nonsense, and these people don't know what the culture of Saudi Arabia is. So they should be prosecuted for showing these kind of wrong information. That's what I have to say. Having said that, folks, cheers, Khuda Hafiz, and bye bye, and Khuda Hafiz. And also, I will say Assalamu alaikum to Prince Salman, and also Prince MBS. And I would love, to interact in royal court on some of the issues with you all. Having said that, folks, Khuda Hafiz, cheers, and bye bye.